The Galactic Federation's elite training facility orbiting Proxima Centauri had never witnessed anything like it. 7 days ago, Drill Sergeant Tilak had assigned the impossible task with a smug flick of his facial tendrils. The violet-skinned Valorian was renowned across 3 sectors for breaking cadets. His voice had reverberated through the zero-gravity chamber as he addressed the 37 trainees suspended in formation. Endurance test begins now. Last one maintaining proper form without touching a wall wins. Estimated completion, 12 hours. The cadets, representing 22 species from across the Federation, had nodded in understanding. All except one, the human. Cadet Tom Miller, fresh from Earth, had simply blinked his brown eyes and asked, "Sir, what's the record?" Tilak had nearly choked on his respiratory fluid. 23 hours, 14 minutes. Set by Commander Voss of Rigel Prime, the human had merely nodded. Now, 168 hours later, training supervisors from across the facility gathered outside the observation deck. Inside, floating perfectly centered in the chamber, was Miller. His form remained textbook perfect. Arms crossed over chest, legs bent at precise angles to maintain stability, breath controlled. "This is impossible," muttered Assistant Drill Sergeant Quill, her insectoid mandibles clicking nervously. "No species can endure microgravity exposure this long without physiological breakdown." Tilak stared through the viewport, rage building behind his compound eyes. The last non-human cadet had given up 90 hours ago, an impressive Arcturian who'd promptly been rushed to medical after his inner equilibrium collapsed. "The human should be dead," Tilak hissed. "No circulatory system can maintain proper function this long without gravity assistance." Commander Renta, the facility's chief medical officer, reviewed her datapad with growing alarm. "That's just it. His vitals are stable, heart rate elevated but consistent. Muscle density actually increasing. He's adapted." "Impossible," Tilak repeated, pounding a clawed fist against the viewport. Inside the chamber, Miller opened his eyes at the sound. 7 days of floating had left his beard slightly grown in, but otherwise he appeared alert. He even offered a small salute. "Permission to end the exercise, sir." Miller's voice came through the comms, steady and clear. Lack's mandibles trembled. Exercise complete. Miller efficiently propelled himself to the chamber exit using only micro-movements of his shoulder blades, a technique that should have been impossible for a species with Earth's gravity background. When the airlock cycled open, Miller stepped through and immediately stood at attention. Despite having been weightless for a week, no staggering, no disorientation, no medical emergency. "Requesting permission to shower and report for next assignment, sir." The gathered officers stared in horror. Commander Rento was the first to recover. "Medical evaluation first, Cadet." Miller followed her to the medical bay, walking normally while the officers huddled behind. "This can't stand," Tilak whispered furiously. "Do you realize what this means? If word gets out that humans can endure microgravity indefinitely, the tactical implications are concerning," agreed Senior Officer Vex. "Our entire space warfare doctrine assumes all biological entities require gravity rotation or augmentation after 36 hours. In the medical bay, Miller sat patiently as scanners assessed his condition. "How did you do it?" Renta finally asked, unable to contain her scientific curiosity. Miller shrugged. "On Earth, we have a thing called ultramarathons. People run hundreds of miles across deserts, mountains, whatever. My aunt once treaded water for 60 hours to raise money for ocean conservation. Humans are pretty good at just continuing." Renta's scales paled. "You've evolved to just endure. Pretty much. Our history is basically just outlasting things that want to kill us. Predators weather each other." Miller tilted his head. "Why? Is that unusual?" Before she could answer, Tilak burst in, flanked by 2 security officers. "Cadet Miller," he barked, "this training exercise has been classified. You are forbidden from discussing the details with anyone." Miller frowned. "Sir, with respect, I believe my performance should be recorded. Other human cadets could benefit." "That's precisely what we're preventing," Tilak snapped. Then, recognizing his error, he modulated his tone. "What I mean, Cadet, is that your achievement is so exceptional that it requires further study before implementation. The human's eyes narrowed slightly, but he nodded. Understood, sir. After Miller was dismissed, the officers convened an emergency meeting. The implications are staggering, said Strategic Director Lauren. If humans can operate in zero-G indefinitely, they could maintain space stations without rotation sections, conduct extended EVA operations, or worse, board enemy vessels and simply wait out the defenders. They evolved on a Deathworld. Renta reminded them. Earth's gravity, atmospheric composition, temperature variations, and indigenous predators should have prevented intelligent life from developing. Instead, it created this. Talak's tendrils writhed anxiously. We must restrict human advancement through the ranks, create barriers. Technical exams they'll struggle with. Too late, said Commander Vex, reviewing his datapad. 5 more human cadets arrived yesterday. 15 more next month. Silence fell over the room. Meanwhile, in the cadet barracks, Miller sat on his reinforced bed, standard issue for high-gravity species, composing a message to his younger sister back on Earth. Asterisk training interesting. These aliens have no idea what humans are capable of. They literally panicked when I floated for a week. Wait until they see what happens when someone introduces them to rock climbing or free diving, missing you all. Tell Mom I'm eating enough asterisk. As he sent the message, Miller couldn't help but smile. Humanity had worried about making its mark in the stars. Now he realized the galaxy wasn't ready for what Earth had forged in its crucible of evolution. The aliens' panic was just the beginning.